Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really is just an excuse for me to talk to some of my very talented friends. And speaking of talented friends, I have another one here with me today. He is the marvelous host over at RT Sportsball, Tyler Coe. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Tim, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot, just a long damn day.
I know how that goes.
For those who aren't here on the night, we're recording this at 10 o'clock at night because, well, we both work at the company pretty religiously. Like, when they say full-time, they fucking mean it.
Yeah, it is full time.
And hell, we're both gonna be out at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, go to shoot tomorrow. No, but it should be fun.
Oh, it absolutely is. Like, seriously, it's the best gig in the world.
Yeah.
I love talking about it in the context of regular movie work, which is the background that I came in. You don't have the stability. You don't have the benefits. This job is literally the best of the creative world and the stability of the business world combined into one. And it's kind of great.
Yeah, it's really not too bad. I mean, you think about it, you live and die by what you do. And everybody, the coolest thing about working at Rooster Teeth and in the entertainment industry is that most of the people that you're working with, most of the people, because sometimes that's not the case, but most of the time it's people that are grinding, just like you. You
Yep.
look around from top to bottom, no matter what caste system you guys work in. From the CEO to the intern, everybody's there late. Everybody's there grinding on the same.
Hustling.
Exactly. So that's the cool part about it, especially with Rooster Teeth, is that everybody's all in. Everybody is nobody slacks off. Everybody is doing a million things. Everybody's running around. Everybody's staying from till midnight like we are sometimes, and then getting up at 6 a.m. to go do another shoot. So that's one of the coolest things about our job.
We'll get to a little bit more about that because that is a whole part of how you get selected to get to where you are. But for those who may not be familiar with who you are, what you do over at the company, give us kind of a CV, a Reader's Digest version of what you do.
I've had a very interesting road to Rooster Teeth. It was pretty unconventional. I come from the world of radio, specifically sports talk radio.
No, you don't say.
Yeah. Here in Austin, Texas, where I'm born and raised here in Austin, and I worked for sports radio, specifically ESPN radio for a time,
Really?
and then a private radio station. Radio stations tend to do, they have a lot of turnover
Right.
as far as owners go. So at my time working in radio, I had 3 different owners.
What was once 105.7 The Eagle becomes 105.7 The Groove.
Exactly, in comedy and then in sports and whatnot. But specifically, I did sports talk radio as a producer and a host for 4 years. And there's just a lot of fluctuation that goes in and out through radio. I've been through a round of layoffs before, been laid off myself. And they kind of have this joke in radio that if you've never been laid off at least once, you haven't really done radio yet. So I'd kind of gotten to a point where I was enjoying what I was doing, but I was looking for something a little bit more. And at a time when I was laid off, I got in touch with Patrick Salazar, who found my resume online and gave me a call, set up an interview, got to meet with him and Ashley, who runs the Know, of course.
Right.
Know her well. Sat down with them and talked about, what I could possibly do for Rooster Teeth. They liked that my sports background was something that they were going to try and venture into. They didn't really know.
And this was how long ago?
This was about a year ago, more than a year ago, almost. I think this was like February of 2014, I think, something like that.
That was actually right about the time when I started doing stuff contracting.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So it was around that time. Didn't get the job. I guess it wasn't the right fit at that time, but I stayed in touch. And I always tell people that if you're looking to get into your dream job, if you're looking to do the thing that you want, you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent when it comes to reaching out. So I stayed in touch with Patrick for just off and on every month or so, just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, what are you guys up to? And then it just worked out that Rooster Teeth had an opening, and I jumped at it because it came with the promise of being able to do a sports show, which I know still is kind of a rare thing and an interesting thing for Rooster Teeth to venture into, but I wanted to be a part of that. So
I will say this, there are actually relatively few live online sports shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that there would kind of be a bevy of that, but most people who get sports entertainment go straight to their cable for it. They don't think to turn to the internet. That's not the crowd for that.
No, it's not. And that was one of my biggest draws for coming to Rooster Teeth, because in talking to Patrick, his idea for a sports show and his dream, if you will, for doing something like that was really something of a trailblazing idea. Like what you just said, Tim, like there's not a lot of online sports shows like that. It's an open field. Like there's so much to be done right there. And I got sick and tired of the narrative that ESPN gave you, that Fox Sports gave you. They kind of had a monopoly on the way that you think, what you read, what you see. This is what you're going to feel about this team.
These are the important athletes that you should care about.
And I didn't like that. I never liked being, I don't like that party divided thing. I didn't like, almost like red versus blue. Like you have to choose a side. And so the idea of being able to come and do a sports show for Rooster Teeth to really open it up to everyone, to where it's not jock and nerd. It's everything. And, I came from a background where I was a kid that played every single sport. I still play sports to this day, but I also played video games religiously. Like I still have my N64. I play it all the time. I play probably more video games than I do sports.
You're one of those lucky ones who could pose as normal, huh?
Yeah, but I feel there's so many people that they haven't been allowed to let that out. I play video games, but I also play sports and vice versa. So I think the idea that Patrick had and that he sold me on is that we could do a show that is all inclusive, that everybody's this big family, that it's really not that scary of a thing. And more people are interested in sports and video games at the same time than you think. So that's kind of what brought me over.
Fair enough. And so then you started working over in the broadcast area, helping Patrick out with a lot of the live productions. You were the guy with the rabbit ears on his head who, whenever Gus would make a joke about the profile of Gavin's nose and you need a real close-up view, or Bernie wants to show you his socks this week, you're the guy who would go in and focus that damn camera.
Right. It was a I don't want to say it was an easy transition, but it was a familiar one in that I was a producer in radio, so you're used to stuff like that, being on the fly, setting up a show and making sure that everything's perfect from the sound quality to drops to everything else, to your host mics, everything using to, is the lighting good, the camera shots, is the set up correctly, the little things that people don't pay attention to. The reason you don't pay attention to them is because they're set up right. And
exactly.
And Patrick is a perfectionist. The entire broadcast department is really good at what they do. And so joining that team, I had a lot of fun, still have a lot of fun, setting up the sets every day, making sure that everything is perfect, because that's what we shoot for, and doing a lot of different shows. And that's fun too, is that every single day, and Tim, you know this very well.
Jesus,
every day is different. Like there's a different challenge every single day. It's not coming in, clocking out, same old show, and then the same beginning, the same end. No, it's like every day there's something new that we have to adjust to. So that's a really fun part of the job as well.
Meg has an idea. I want to take some babies and throw them around and play football with Alan Richardson. Is that something that we can do? Yeah, totally.
There's nothing, I haven't heard one thing yet that it's like, no, we can't do that. It's like, okay, I'll do that. And then you come up with a creative way and you brainstorm and you figure it out. And that's another cool thing is, you're literally thrown stuff sometimes, to where it's like, you guys got to run with it. And we do. So that's a really rewarding part of the job.
And so speaking of getting thrown stuff, Sportsball was not your first appearance on camera, and neither was this, but you were instrumental in the Dodgeball video.
They needed an extra person to play Dodgeball against Funhouse, and of course I jumped at the opportunity. I love playing Dodgeball.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing that. That was a blast. Doing those little videos, those little things, like it's so rare. Like people don't get to do those things, and I don't take them for granted. I don't think anybody at the company does. Like that was work that day, was playing Dodgeball. Like, and that's so
in
unique.
A very tiny room. Like, that's the thing that I think some people mentioned it, but it kind of gets lost in the editing. It's a very tiny room that you guys are playing Dodgeball in.
Like, you could walk across it in 2 seconds and touch the other wall. Yeah, it was extremely small. Ton of fun.
And then the best part was we turned around from doing that and filmed the Luchador short. Like, come on. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And that's the best part about it. Like I said earlier, like every day is different. There's not been one day that was like the other. Like, just never. Not in the, I think, 8 months that I've been here.
Yeah. Wow. 8 months. That's getting up there, man, I just hit the 6-month mark myself, and I'm like, where did it go? Do you count your days by production?
No.
Or are you able to do that? Because like your productions, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Yours are so repetitive that there's no way you could count the weeks by schedule.
Yeah, it's I lose track of the days because I mean we are just constantly going and like yeah, you forget like just a month goes by because you're doing so many things day in and day out.
Did we do 2 or 3 podcasts? I don't know. It's been a whole month. I think we did 4.
And the best part is that we're adding on more, and that's that's daunting.
Yeah.
But it's a fun challenge as well because the shows that are coming are, they're so unique in their own way as well. Like they're all podcasts and they're all RT personalities.
I think they announced the Achievement Hunter podcast is premiering on the 30th.
Yes, and people need to be really excited about that. I've got behind the scenes a little bit, and I've got to see what the set's going to look like. And Marcus, our set director, obviously is just, I mean, the guy is just a gift. Yeah. He's a genius. It's
Ain't that the ruddy truth? And seeing that thing come together has been a delight. I can't wait for everybody to see it either. And so then going back to your actual first appearance on camera for like a legitimate short, the hot dog eating contest from July 4th. Oh, yes. God.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was insane. Like, and it's so funny how it happens because you'll basically just be walking around at work one day. You're doing your job, do, and then Brandon will come like out of the mist and be like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" Like, can you eat hot dogs? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why the hell are you asking me that? I have no idea. He's like, all right, cool. I need you here at 10 a.m. Eat hot dogs. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And then this huge production is put on, and it was just so much fun. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Like one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like
I'd imagine just looking at that was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Like people say, like, oh, I could easily do that. Like I ate 7 hot dogs in like 5 minutes. Like it was insanely tough. Like I felt sick all day long. Everybody felt terrible.
Funnily enough, that was actually one of your first interactions on camera with Jack and Joel, who would eventually become your co-hosts.
Right. Yeah. And it was actually funny. We kind of have, most people don't know this backstory. And let's see, what year was it? It was about 2012 when I was doing my radio gig over at ESPN Radio. We set up our weekend show on Radio Row for a little event at the Austin Convention Center called RTX.
I know that place.
Didn't know what RTX was. I never really heard of Rooster Teeth before. And we did a radio show with 2 guys named Jack and Joel.
Oh my God, I was at that RTX.
Yeah, so it was so funny to come like full circle that I did a show with these guys and then flash forward 3 years later and I'm literally doing a show with them right now.
Weekly.
So it's just so funny how that works out.
Right?
Yeah.
Life is so fucking weird like that.
Yeah, I would have, if you had told me back then, 3 years ago, that the 2 guys that I did on a random weekend for this convention, this huge event, like that eventually that would be my home and that would be my family. Those would be my brothers. Like I wouldn't have believed you, like not at all. But it's so funny. I look back on that and think, wow, I can't believe that I'm now at this point with them.
So then going back to Sportsball, you sit there with Jack and Joel and Brandon and Cole as well. Cole, your stat guy. And you sit there and hash through sports events of the week.
Yeah, basically, the idea behind the show, or at least what we're trying to go for, is, like I said earlier, I'm sick and tired of the narrative. I don't like what mainstream sports tries to tell you, just tries to feed you, that they push you to feel. I wanted to do something that was different, and I want to do something that was a little bit like The Daily Show. And I know that's big shoes and that's big talk right there to try and fill, but that's what we're trying to go for, is to really show you the lighter side and try and be as truthful and non-PC as possible.
Right.
Just talk shit. Just tell it how it is. Be that guy, be that conversation for people that you have with your friends, the one that you couldn't do on a radio show, or the one that you couldn't do on TV for ESPN. Just be real. Just be real with it and get it out there and have fun and just joke around, because that's what it is. Sports is supposed to be fun. And it's not supposed to be this draw this line in the sand type entertainment. I mean, because that's what it is. It is entertainment. Sports is entertainment.
You're damn right. There's so much fire and passion that ends up associated with sports that it's hard to separate that from, I mean, almost violence. But that separation needs to exist. Like, seriously, sports are supposed to be fun. It's great to get riled up. That's literally the whole point.
Yeah, it is, and it's so awesome, the passion that sports brings. And like, even if you think you don't like sports, you do have a connection to it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, your families are decided by, you know, where they go to school, who you root for. Like, it almost decides your future. You know, there's so many kids that, you know, if your parents went to the University of, you know, Michigan, you're probably going to want to go there, and that's going to be your path for your life because of sports, because of that school,
Are
because
those
that.
stupid house divided license plates popular
Yes.
here?
Oh my God, yes. In Texas, especially with Texas A&M,
Yeah.
see them all the time. But so much passion behind it. And it's a big part of a lot of people's lives. And that's something we want to just bring, is that we want to try and give a voice to those that haven't been able to get one. And because every opinion should be out there, whether, as you know, if you think it's crazy or it's outlandish or it doesn't really make a lot of sense, it doesn't matter. It's still valid. So that's what Sportsball is trying to do, is connect with people who may not know sports or who really love sports, and just give everybody a voice. You know, we try and open up. We have a phone system for our show, which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
I think we're one of the only ones. I know a lot of shows have Twitter, but we have a voicemail system. We have a text line, and we're eventually going to put in an actual phone line.
And God, have you had some interesting voicemails?
Yes, we have had some very interesting voicemails, which led us to, like, we're hoping to have a phone line soon where people can call in from all around the world to get in their opinion about whatever it is. So right now, that's the goal. We have a lot of fun things planned for the future, some athletes that we're hoping to have on the show as well.
Nice.
To kind of, again, break that stereotype that jocks are just jocks. You know, there's so many athletes out there. You know, Tim Duncan is a guy that we're really hoping to get on the show. Not saying that we are, but he, for instance, I mean, the guy's a multiple NBA champ, MVP. He's one of the more recognized names in basketball. He also owns a comic book store down in San Antonio. He also played D&D religiously as a kid. He loves video games. Like, and people wouldn't associate, you know, an athlete like that with what we do at Rooster Teeth for the most part.
Well, you forget when you see someone in two dimensions so often that there actually is a third, and that's called being a person. And so it's fun to then have those conversations, kind of bring those out, because you're right. A voice in sports is so important. That's literally why, like, they give the audience a voice. It's crazy to me how much people will take away the personality from sports. If you had a game going with no commentators, no crowd, no none of that, you would just be watching a couple of elephant men beating each other into the ground.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's almost the chicken and the egg conversation. Like, to have athletes, you have to have fans, and to have sports, you have to have all of that. Like, all of it goes hand in hand. You know, the passion from the fans, from the commentators, the spectacle that is, you know, the NFL and Monday Night Football, and, you know, Star Wars is going to premiere their trailer at halftime for that. Like, it all connects. It's such a big deal.
And God, if there's anyone who doesn't have a lot of passion and the ability to say a lot, it's Joel.
Yeah, exactly. Joel is a treat, and Joel is he is somebody that brings a lot of passion and a lot of energy to the show, and that's the biggest thing for me, is that he is so excited to do it. He comes up with so many great ideas, and I mean, he's just flat out funny. The guy can make anything funny.
Yeah.
And him and Jack, just having that friendship, just having those two guys on there, you know that you're going to get a good program. Whether or not you get it from me,
they come with a built-in dynamic. I mean, it's all you really kind of have to do is say the thing that winds them up, and then just back up.
Exactly, and that's what I try to do. Mainly, that's I'm kind of like I'll make a sports analogy here. I'm kind of like the ref during an NBA game at tip-off. I just throw the ball up, and then I just let them go at it. And that's basically what we try and do every single segment.
That's such a great analogy. I love it.
Give them something, and then I'm going to let them run with it, because I want to see where they go. And that's the fun of it, because, you know, I came from, like I said, a world of radio where it's very harsh, and it's about always being right, and then not a lot of room for humor. And I made my mark by trying to be funny, trying to be entertaining, trying to make those people laugh in traffic. So that's our main goal every day, is we're not trying to push our agenda down your throat.
Right.
We just want you to laugh and have fun with us and enjoy the craziness that is sports.
Because it is incredibly so. Like, it's so funny. You guys will tackle the headlines like the baseball player who was beating up the cooler inside of the dugout. And then you just cut to Joel, and he's sitting there with it right over his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, in no other thing are you going to find people where in one weekend We have we have that. We have the cooler guy. This baseball player beats up a cooler, then later goes on live TV, does a press conference, and personally apologizes to the cooler.
Yeah.
Like verbatim, like I want to apologize to the cooler, his family. I didn't mean to harm him. I'm going to work better on being a better person. Like sports brings you that. Like it's insane. Like
Okay.
you can't go 24 hours without something crazy happening.
How hard do you think his job was threatened in order for that sarcastic remark to have been made? That's what I want to know. Because seriously, either you do that as a joke or you do that because you're going to get fired.
Yeah, I think he did it. It was tongue in cheek,
Yeah.
and he's just like, I'm gonna have some fun with this, and like, you know, a lot of people get caught up in the moment, and that's again that passion that spills out for athletes as well. Is like they care so much. Everybody does. Like the fans collectively for Pittsburgh, which is the team that the guy played for,
Right.
they were punching it with him. They were just as upset as him. So I thought that was funny. I mean, there's so many funny things that come out, and that's what we're trying to bring is, you know, the stuff that you maybe didn't see. And that's what we're really trying to do is just open up this big world to people that maybe weren't familiar with it.
Well, so far you've been fairly successful. The reaction to the show has been awesome. I will say this, I may be a little partial. The set looks great.
The set is something that it's truly amazing what our art director Marcus can do, and his entire team. That includes you, Tim, and everybody else. That Marcus is like a police sketch artist in that you sit down, you kind of describe what you want, and he just makes it happen. So
yeah, he turns it over, and you're like, "That's him! Oh my God! How did you do that?"
It's unbelievable. Like when we talking about the set, the thing I wanted is we wanted gritty. We wanted like a stadium-like feel, kind of like Fenway Park behind the Green Monster.
Right.
And I told Marcus all this, and I couldn't really articulate exactly what I wanted. And then less than 24 hours, he comes up with this amazing sketch.
Like
and then
you're under the bleachers, you know?
Yeah.
Just to the left of you is concession row. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I'm actually hoping we add in a concession stand eventually to the set. Like that would be really fun. So he creates this amazing thing, and I love the set. And not to brag here, but I think it is like the best set we have right now. I know there's some other shows coming.
Oh,
they're
boy.
going to blow your socks off, but it is so good in my opinion. And it is because it led John Reisinger to come up to me after I think the first week or two we had been doing Sportsball. He came up to me and he's just looking at me, and he's just like shaking his head. He's like, I hate you.
You successfully made John Reisinger jealous. Congratulations.
He's like, I love your set. I hate that you got it. He's like, what did you do to deserve it? You know, and of course he was joking. And I love John. John is awesome.
Oh God, yeah.
He's one of my favorite people there. And but it is. I mean, Marcus did such a great job, his team, and like putting this together. And here's one of the things that people don't know about Sportsball. And you know, Sportsball does continue on, and I really hope it does. And I hope it's a great success. And that kind of depends on the viewers and, you know, what we, the talent, and everybody at Rooster Teeth are able to do with it. But the first day of the show, it's a live show, so we don't record it.
Right.
It's live at 5 o'clock every Tuesday. We were literally building the set minutes before it went on air.
We damn right we were.
Like we were building the walls, we were putting the desk together. People were screwing in things, putting it in, and we're doing it. We're already in our live stream, our pre-stream.
Yeah.
Like we're 5 minutes away from the show.
I'm surprised that it just because it's just music piping through, you would be able to hear us just drilling away, hammering away. Marcus is over there putting the varnish on the desk. Like Joel was not kidding when he said that it was still a little tacky.
Oh no, the fumes were like insane from the desk because I just put that lacquer on it, and it was so crazy that it all got together at the last second. And it was like this huge release though, because there was this build up, at least for me, of like, this is my baby and this is my project. And 2 minutes before it all goes down, we're ready. And then just boom, we just win. And I think that set the tone, I guess, for where we were going, because we didn't really know where we were going, and we just had fun with it, and we just let loose. So,
and you didn't really have a choice. Like, you didn't have time to sit there and think about it. You just were in the show.
You just have to go. And usually I think that's where your best shows come from, is when just don't think about it, just go. Yeah. And that's kind of like another sports analogy. It's when you're a pitcher and you're a catcher, like catchers will always tell pitchers, just get out of your head. Just get out of your head and just throw it. Don't think about it, just go.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it is. Don't hesitate, just go, and you'll be okay.
And because you have such strong performers beside you,
Hmm.
I mean, it really doesn't matter where you throw that ball. It's going to get caught some way, or you're going to get made fun of, and it's going to be hilarious, and nobody's really going to care. You're going to move past. Like, I mean, you're safe is the point. And that safety is what allows a performer to perform to the
Yeah,
fullest extent. Like, you have to kind of be in that place, in that space where you feel safe and the ability to say whatever the hell you want and know you're not going to get laughed at and called dumb and told no. Like, I mean, those are improv no-nos.
yeah. Well, we have been called dumb a few times, and I actually kind of enjoy that. But you're right about that safety thing, and it goes two ways. Like you said, like I know that I have Jack and Joel beside me. I have two veterans in this game, so I know that if I go to them, they're going to have something. In return, they trust me with my background, knowing that I can help them out as well. That I
Right.
can be that base. For I guess the guy that is the more sports guy on the show, that they can always go back to me. So it's this give and take that has really been natural from day one because we didn't really do too many tests before we did this. I mean, we kind of just sat down and went, and
Yeah. I
we've
feel
had
like
that.
the first two episodes, they're not available on YouTube. Were they kind of considered pilots?
I guess the first one would have been considered a pilot. The second one, not so much. And then we just felt good that we're like, let's just go on YouTube. And so we did it after the second show. We all felt really good about it from top to bottom. Like, okay, we're good. And I mean, of course, we're going through growing pains right now, and we're still trying to figure out the direction of the show.
Right.
But we still have fun doing it.
I mean, you're still under 10 episodes, right?
Still under 10 episodes, correct.
Yeah.
And so 10th, yeah, will be this coming week. Um, so yeah, right now we're just trying to figure it out as we go, but everybody's been helping us. And that's the one thing that I always talk about every show is that the viewers, we need your input. We want your help. We want you to help us guide this because it's us. It's our show. It's not my show. It's not Tyler Coe's show or, Joel's show or Jack's. It's everyone's.
Yeah.
It's our show. It's Sportsball. And that's what we want. And we've had great fan reaction up to this point. We've had people from around the country be a part of things and put our face out there. And we've had people send us sports memorabilia from all across the globe. And we've had people reach out from, Ireland to Australia, the UK, just really excited, like, hey, you're going to talk about my sport, or hey, you talked about my favorite player or team. And seeing, comments like that's why I do this.
Absolutely.
That's the fun stuff. That's why we do this.
And so your set is also unique in that it's one of the first modular sets that we've tried to set up. We're getting broadcast a little bit better squared away because, like Tyler said, we're adding a couple of new pieces into that place. And so the ones that are there that are a little bulky kind of need to be reduced down a little bit. The walls that you see in the background of the RT podcast, those used to be freestanding on the ground, and now they're on rolling desks and stuff. Your set was actually one of the first in the efforts to do that. And it's really neat because some of those pieces will get used in other places. The big slatted walls, those slatted wood walls, those are very easy to kind of slip into themes in other places because, well, they look really nice in a bunch of different scenarios. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the underside of a bleachers for a set of slatted wood walls to look good.
No, exactly. And that's one of the cool things about it. I was really excited that the set was going to be that way. For the folks that don't get to see it, our sets, for the most part, are on gigantic platforms. They're very difficult to maneuver. They don't leave us a lot of options for space, which, of course, is limited as we continue to grow. So the fact that mine, as you said, is one that is so mobile and so it can adapt to a lot of things is another thing that I love about Sportsball is that we're able to do that because those walls are going to be in place for some other shows. Not going to tell you which ones they're going to be for, but like you said, yeah, it leaves us a lot of options, and I feel like it breathes. It gives our set like a little bit more of a realistic feeling, like you're actually at a different place, like you do for most sets. But this one, I think really does. You get that feel, like that you're actually at a stadium.
Right.
Like that's the cool part about it.
And I think that that's the biggest difference because you have that good bit of depth because it's simple and sleek. It really does feel ESPN-y, but it's not. It's us, but it's professional, I guess is the word that I'm trying to get at without saying that the other ones don't. It's just that this one has that, 3-angle background, and you have the logo right above your head. Like, I mean, it's made on purpose.
Yeah, and we wanted that feel because we didn't want to be we didn't want to be like an ESPN. We didn't want it to be a lot of glass and shiny lights and those window floors like we glass floors. We didn't want that. We wanted like you said our feel, and that's what we got because we're trying to stay in our lane. The one thing I always implore to everyone who's a part of sports ball and doing is that stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
We are not the experts. We're not going to try and be the experts, and we're not going to try and tell you how to think about sports. So I think our set reflects what the show is trying to put out there. It's kind of underground. It's kind of what we want to do. It's talking shit, you know. That's what it's about. And I once again, the set allows us to do so many different things. If you go happen to watch the last episode of Sportsball, you'll see that we were able to have, like you said, with that depth. We're able to have some characters, join the set and join the show every once in a while. We've been able to have Funhouse on there. We're able to have like huge crowds. Maybe had a few guys maybe not wearing too many clothes in our latest episode, which you're going to have to check out. So it allows us to do a lot of different things.
Way to give people a fair warning, Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, they're not fully nude, but yeah, there's some characters that you're definitely going to want to see in this latest episode of Sportsball.
And so, as you kind of began to develop things, you had the voicemail segments added in, and you've also, as you said, had other people come in, and Brandon will interject whenever he's not on the show, and Jack starts talking crap about his team. What are some of the other ideas that you've had that may necessarily not come to fruition, but like give us an idea of the avenue that you're thinking along?
Okay, so one of the things we really want to do is just have more fun with this and really try and get the rest of the sports world involved. We've had a few athletes reach out to us already in our young lifespan saying, hey, we'd like to be a part of the show.
You've also appeared on television a couple of times.
We have appeared on TV a few times. In our first 3 weeks, we actually made it big in Ireland.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Which really kind of set the tone for we need to do this more. And
piss
Joel,
off an entire nation?
He pissed off all of Ireland, basically. And he did a bit for people that don't know. We were talking about hurling, which is a very big sport in Ireland. Joel went on this rant saying it looks easy. I'm the greatest hurler of all time. The very next day after the show got released, I got a phone call from probably the biggest radio station, RTE, in Ireland, saying, hey, we would like to talk to you about your comments on the show. Apparently somebody had a publication over there. I picked up the show, talked about us, and I got on the phone, did an interview over there, which was so surreal to be like talking to people in Ireland. We actually had RTE fans in Ireland saying, the RT fans over there were like, Tyler, what are you doing on my radio station?
You having Jack and Joel on your radio station, and people going, why are Jack and Joel on this sports radio station? It's literally you doing the exact same thing in the future.
Exactly. It was so much, and we've been able to set up a bit with that and have some good fun with it. So we're hoping to do more segments where we attempt to do sports, where we hang out with athletes and try and do what they do, kind of take you around and just really goof around, really have a lot of fun with this. We're hoping to go to some games. We're hoping to go to some sporting events.
You guys went up to Dallas a couple of weekends ago?
Yeah, Houston. We went to Houston to go check out a game. And we're hoping to go to the Super Bowl. That's one of our main goals this year is to go to the Super Bowl. We're still trying to make that happen right now.
Tyler, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me.
Yes, sir.
That has nothing to do with fucking sports ball, does it?
I'm going to spin it that way. It's more about like me wanting to go to the Super Bowl. So,
and RT has an event in Australia just so that we can go down there and entertain fans. Yeah.
Exactly. But I figure if Rooster Teeth, which is the biggest thing on the internet, in my opinion, well, then their sports shows should be at the biggest sporting events in sports.
I agree.
In America. So I think we have to be at the Super Bowl.
You're damn right.
And we're going to be adding on new segments at the end of each episode, hopefully going forward, where we do little shorts, where we do our own little creative things, our own little spin on sporting events, maybe in past history. So we're hoping all that comes down the pipe. But right now, we're just really still trying to grind this thing out. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to grow it and build it and get more people involved. And we seem to be doing that right now. And the biggest thing is just the comments and from the viewers and what they want. And that's what we're trying to figure out. How's the best way to get the best entertainment and what we like to call infotainment to the people.
So, and I think the best way to do that is to have people call in and tell you what the hell to do. We'll have the number down in the info below, and you know, maybe in a couple of other places too. So don't you worry about that.
Awesome.
And so, as you have this now huge sports passion, where did it come from? Did you have a family who was interested in sports? Was it just something you've always been interested in?
Oh yeah, I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to feel a different way about sports.
Texas
You know,
football, huh?
growing up in Texas, people will tell you, football comes first and then it's God, because it really is a religion here in Texas. But growing up,
church is on Friday night, and it takes place between two uprights.
Exactly. And it's huge. My mother was actually the one that got me into sports. Most people would think that'd be my dad. My dad was also very influential in getting me involved in sports. But my mother was the one that drove the passion.
A lot of people don't realize how many moms scream at their televisions, completely disregarding the children that are still in the room. Like, oh, yeah. I'm sitting here saying, you kiss me at night. Oh my God. Yeah, no. But yeah, so you didn't have a chance at all, huh?
No, my mom was, she was the sports nut in the household. So I spent pretty much still my entire life up until this day at Dish Falk Field, which is UT's baseball team. You know, I went to baseball camps. I played baseball, played football. I played basketball, even though I'm a short white guy. Still a lot of fun. Tried my hand at soccer.
Hey, I bet your fundamentals were real strong.
Hey, yeah, beef. Balance, eyes, elbow, follow through.
Nailed it.
There. But yeah, playing baseball was a big thing growing up. And the biggest thing for me is that I learned pretty much everything I know as far as virtues and values go from sports. And that was the biggest thing for me, is that all my friends that are still my friends to this day are people that I've played, sports with. And that was huge. It's this huge passion for sports came from that camaraderie, because you learn so much. You learn about winning and losing and doing right and doing wrong and
discipline.
Failing. Yeah, discipline, failing all the time, failing 90% of the time. But when you succeed, and how great that tastes. And I mean, so many life lessons come from sports, as they do from other things, but sports, especially for me, is where I learned so much. And it's just something that, I mean, I eat it every single day. I can't imagine a single day without sports. And it's just something that I love going to games. I love playing it. I don't even care what the sport is, as long as it has a ball or a stick, or there's some point to be scored. Like, I want to play it.
Totally in.
Right. And I think it's such a cool thing, because it's something where you see modern day miracles. I think it's something, really special at times when the unbelievable happens, when the rare comes true. And for
the
you to be
gets wedged inside the player's helmet, and he ends up just running it anyway.
And I mean, so many great sports moments that just flash through my head when I think about that. When I say that, just make me think about how much I really love it, and that's what I'm trying to bring to people as well. Is that how much fun it really is? And I think for Rooster Teeth, a company that not solely based on video games in the gaming industry, but that's a gigantic part of it.
Yeah.
And to me, and I hope I'm not rubbing anybody the wrong way, but I think video games and sports are the exact same thing. I mean, I think they are. I think they go hand in hand. I think video games and playing them, that's a sporting activity. And I think you've started to see that with, esports and, major leagues for gaming.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you feel about esports being shown now on ESPN and actual televised networks?
I think it's good. I am always for progression. I think anything that when you take a step forward into the unknown, I smile. I'm happy with that, because that's where I'm living right now. It was just a shot.
Yeah. Who are you to cast stones when you live in the glass house?
Exactly. So for me personally, I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. I know that the reaction thus far for mainstream sports fans has been kind of negative, because you fear what you don't know. Right. I mean, and that's one of the things with Sportsball as well, is for people at Rooster Teeth who have seen a sports show and they automatically think, well, whoa, that's not up my alley. I don't like this. I don't know anything about it. And, when you do fear that, you let anger in, you let hate in. And I think that's where a lot of people are in the mainstream when it comes to esports. I remember, I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago, they had an esports championship on ESPN2, people lost their shit. Like, they full on freak out, like, ESPN, are they going to be doing this forever? Like, no. We need sports. We need real
sports. What important game did they get pushed off the air in order to make this happen? Fucking
seriously,
nothing. Like, just
3, ball game, yeah. And to me, like I said, I think it is sports. Now I know a lot of my colleagues and cohorts probably wouldn't agree with me, but I think it is, and I think the fact that it is that big, that it continues to grow, you can either be on that train or you can get run over by it. I mean, be proactive, be the
Basically.
guy that gets on front of that, see where this thing can go, and open it up. So I think it's really cool.
Like the thing that really bothers me about people who drag their heels against progression, it's really a thing you're just resisting like an unstoppable force. You know, you're fighting fact. At one point here, very shortly in the future, esports are going to be taken just as legitimately because the money that is exchanging hands is just as valuable. And
Right.
so when advertisers come, when businesses come, eventually public opinion sways. But until then, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. You just nailed it on the head. When the money comes, and I don't want to sound like, that morose about it, like, oh, it's only when the money
It's a
comes, but
business. It's a fucking
it's a
business.
business. When it gets there, I mean, it's going to grow up and it's going to be big. So I would like to be a part of it. I'm trying to immerse myself a little bit into that world. I know a little bit here and there. When it comes to League of Legends, I know, which is gigantic. And, of course, Call of Duty is huge, Black Ops and whatnot.
All the
but
the fighting games.
pick your game. But I think it's something really cool and it's really unique. And that is, like you said, it's only going to get bigger. And eventually it will be taken just as seriously, because that's the way it goes. I mean, we all adapt and we all evolve. Sports back in the day, when you think about old time sports, you think about like cricket and croquet, and you think about when the first guys played golf, and people looking at that and saying, that shit ain't gonna work. Nobody's gonna watch you hit a tiny little ball over hundreds of yards of grass. That's stupid. Well,
It's not a sport. Like, you're not even really trying that hard. And now
Exactly.
it's fucking
Now it's a global phenomenon. I mean, kicking a
millions
ball,
of dollars
crap.
in purses every year.
Exactly. So when we first look at a thing, we don't understand it. We naturally like push away. But I think we need to start thinking the other way, and I think a lot of people do. And I think two people that really do are Matt and Bernie. And I think everybody at Rooster Teeth is that way, is that those were the guys that thought forward and that they saw something that other people didn't, and they realized what was going to be big and what was going to be successful. And that's why you and me, Tim, are here right now, is because of guys like that, because of a company like Rooster Teeth that understands that has the foresight and the understanding to see the writing on the wall and jumping on it before anybody else. So
Not just ignoring it because it's not their cup of tea.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think I would like to give a big thank you, and of course I have, but I'm going to give them a good Christmas gift, I think, to all of the founders and the owners for giving
May
me
I
a
suggest
job.
bottles of liquor?
That's what I was gonna go ahead and buy.
That's just a safe bet.
It's a safe one. So, but it is really cool and unique. And I mean, once again, going back to why I joined this and left, a very comfortable, healthy career in radio, is because I wanted to be a part of something like this that maybe could be something big, could be something different that we haven't seen before. And I think that's why so many people gravitate to Rooster Teeth, so many fans, is because they want to be a part of something different.
Yep.
Because we're sick and tired of the same old things. We're sick and tired of saying our opinion doesn't matter. No matter how unique or weird or whatever, I'm weird, I'm unique, all of you are as well. And that's why we're doing this, and this is why we love it. So I'm really happy to be here. And thanks again, Tim, for having me on. This is great. I'm having a lot of fun doing this.
Dude, you're very, very welcome. I love giving creative people a platform to talk, because there's nothing creative people love more than talking about why we do what we do. Because that is the most important thing in the world to us. The reason why we forego family, friends, financial security is because this thing inside of us won't stop. And it's this hunger, it's this insatiable moving forward. It's the gears that won't stop turning. And the minute you give someone the chance to be like, this is why, it's great.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you giving me the stage to do that tonight, because it's something that you don't really get to talk about a lot.
No.
You don't really get to talk about on the show, or else people are going to tune you out. But people do need to understand why we do this, and it is for all those reasons, and most of them positive.
Yeah.
to make this happen, make the unbelievable believable, and make it real. You know, take the dream, make it reality. And we're doing that daily at Rooster Teeth in every department. And that's the coolest thing, you know, from animation to live action to broadcast, to AH and, you know, Funhouse and all the other entities that Rooster Teeth is. Every single day, we are coming up with content that is new, unique, something you've never seen before. And we're not just doing it to be different. It's because that's, like you said, it's just in us.
It's because like every single one of us on a singular solo level would be doing the exact same thing if we weren't all at the same company.
Yes, wherever we were, that you're exactly right. We would be trying to do that. It's just a great, and it's just a great, I've said this word like 1,000 times tonight, rare, because it is that rare to find a place like this where they created a home for all these people, all these unique people who have the same drive, who have the same ambition to live under the same roof.
Who have different talents, different points of view, different ways to angle jokes, and different ways to complement your skill set. And that's what makes teams great. Like, watching broadcast run like a well-oiled machine when there's a very funny show going on right there that you guys could be very easily distracted by is really kind of cool. Because if you don't, the show breaks down completely. And so you guys don't necessarily get to enjoy it. I mean, you do. Jesus Christ, do you? We can hear them snorting in the control room at least twice an episode. But it's gotten to the point now where everything just runs, and it's because we have to. We have to, or else we die inside creatively. Like, I don't know. Was there ever a point in time where you weren't working in a creative job?
Yeah, there were. Before I got into radio, I was working at a bookstore. Before that, I was in film school, just trying to pay my way through that.
And how did that feel, being in the bookstore and not like doing things?
Yeah, not doing the film and not doing something creative, it just was a joy kill. Like, you just don't get anything out of it. And I don't mean to belittle or disrespect, and I know you don't either, people that do the 9 to 5, that do the clock in, that, you know, do the, I guess, blue collar jobs.
I pray that it's their passion. Like, please, whatever you're doing, be your passion, because holy crap, it's not work anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the cool thing about Rooster Teeth. We're not just coexisting as these unique individuals that have been placed together, like you said, that come from all different walks of life. We're not just coexisting, we're thriving. And that's why Rooster Teeth is getting bigger. That's why it's expanding. That's why I get to do this now. It's because of people like you, and everybody at RT, and the viewers, my God, the community that has really been the driving force behind all this. They allow us to go to new and different avenues. We get to explore and go into places.
The community that put your big dumb face up on ESPN. Like, how great is that?
I mean, that is the power of the people and the community. I got to really go to RTX for the first time this past year, because I told you before, about 3 years ago, I went for a radio show, but I wasn't paying attention then. It was just, to me, I don't want to sound, you know, like an asshole, but I'm going to be when I say, to me, it was just another event, because I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I didn't know what it was.
How could you? Like, seriously, 3 years ago, RTX was just another event, because that was year 2. That was 1,000 people, and it really wasn't a huge event yet.
Not from what I saw this year. And we got to do a really cool thing at RTX this year. Yeah, it was unbelievable. At the broadcast panel, this was kind of a cool story, is that Patrick, my boss, head of broadcast, talked about this time last year pitching a show called On the Spot, and with a guy named John Reisinger, and that they announced it the year before, saying this is going to be the new show. And what it was going to be, and nobody knew what it was going to be. And now, look, a year later, what that show is.
It's a show that you and Cole and Jack and Joel just completely destroyed?
Yes.
Because that's totally a thing that happened. And we're not going to, like, dredge up a whole bunch of stuff because we're already running a little long. But seriously, go watch that episode.
It was so great. I had so much fun on that episode. But On the Spot has become this amazing thing. And so, following in those footsteps, we're hoping, you know, we got to announce Sportsball at RTX, and just seeing the people there and seeing the excitement. And I saw some guys, I saw at least 3 or 4 people do like fist pumps in the crowd. I was like, wow, I was like, this could be something crazy because just watching all the fans there and the passion, like it fills you up with something that you can't really describe. And it's not even something that you want to care to define when you're feeling it.
Right.
You just let it go through your body. But it like comes, so Tim, that sports background that I have and being a part of a team, I feel like I'm part of a team of 8 million people or more, however many people love Rooster Teeth. You know, I'm just going kind of by subscribers on YouTube, but it's more than that. I feel like I'm a part of that team from top to bottom, and that those are my people, those are my teammates, and that we're not going to let them down, and that I got to get this right for them. And so I'm hoping come next RTX, we can do a live sports ball show and just go crazy with the fans. And that's like my dream. That would be the coolest thing, is to come back to RTX, have sports ball be a mainstay, and have people love it, and have people be there and meet the fans. Because my God, that's the coolest part about our job, is the fans. Yeah, I mean, because they're so cool. They give you so much confidence. They give you so much help, and so much creative criticism, which I crave.
How does it feel to know that your set can follow you down to the convention center?
Oh my God, it's awesome. I can take it. I can put it in the back of my truck.
Yeah,
I kind of
right?
wanted to.
Like the profile is so small that you could actually fit it in the back of a truck. That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's, oh my gosh, that would just be the dream. That would be a dream to do that.
You can take it on the road, Tyler. Take it on the road, sir.
I don't want to tease too much.
Oh God! Oh no! Making a joke. So
we just.
I think that is a very, very wonderful sentiment to start and round out our program on, and I love ending the show on the Inside the Actor Studios questionnaire. So I too have a reappropriated version of the Proust Personality Questionnaire, and it goes a little something like this. Tyler, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Oh, it's got to be fuck. I'm sorry. Can I say that?
Yeah,
or no?
you totally can. I mean, you're jumping the gun a little bit. There is your favorite curse word later on, but look, you can write the same answer twice. There is no penalty.
I say it a lot, and it's you can use it so many different ways. I mean, it's a word that, I mean, endless ways, and use it sometimes. It's a term of endearment to somebody, you know.
Right.
You know, sometimes when you say "fuck you," what you're really saying is that I love you and you're my best friend.
Exactly. Some people need to learn the difference between the two. Like, seriously, listen to context clues, people. What's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. I don't know if I have a word, Tim, but it would be a phrase. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of things in life that really burn me or get me going or angry. But when I hear somebody tell me, or not even me, but just somebody saying, "No, we can't do that," in the term of like, "No, that's not possible."
Right. Just complete shutdown.
Really, really pisses me off to hear that, and that like gets me going. When I'm told, you know, that I can't do a thing, or that that's not possible, or that your dream is too big, it just makes me want to leave that conversation and like get to work. Like that like really gets me going. So that not the word, but the phrase, I don't think that's possible. You know, that's probably my least.
I don't think it's possible for you to get upset. Like, you literally just talking about your least favorite thing and then curtailing it into something positive. Like, you were just a little ray of sunshine. And so what sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise do I love? Oh my gosh, there is nothing, Tim. This is going to be a sports one, and I hope a lot of people know what I'm talking about. There is nothing like the quiet before a pitch in baseball on a full count, 2 outs, man on, he's the tying run, last guy at the plate, last pitch, and hitting a home run. So having that huge lull, that dead quiet, and the roar that just rips your eardrums apart, that's like my favorite thing. People screaming at a sports stadium after a huge play. Just like,
that's the audio equivalent of a tsunami.
Yes, it really is. Yeah, you have no idea it's coming, and then boom, it just hits you like a ton of bricks. That's my favorite thing in the world. That's the coolest part, because you get to be like in part of this euphoria at one moment with like hundreds of thousands of people, and they're all beside you, all your friends. Like, you don't even. Like the guy next to you who you've never met before in your life, you're hugging him and he's crying on you.
In tears, just
your best friends for life. Like, I love
his face paint is running down his face.
Exactly. That is my favorite sound. The roar at a sports stadium makes me feel like I'm at home.
And so, what sound do you hate?
What sound do I hate? Oh man, that is a really good question. These are really good because I don't think they're things you really think about. Um, Man, the sound that I hate. The sound
The sound of Premiere crashing.
the sound of Premiere crashing. Yeah, something like that. I don't know if I don't know. I was gonna say high pitched squeals. That didn't even really bother me. I kind of enjoy most sounds, I guess. They're all unique, I guess.
That goes back to my ray of sunshine theory.
Yeah, I can't really think of one. So
what hero do you identify with the most?
hero do I identify with? I'm a big fan of reformed sinners, not a big fan of the priests. And I don't mean that in a literal sense, just the holier than thou people that really haven't been through the shit, who haven't had their ups and downs or hit rock bottom. I like to, because I've had so many ups and downs in my life, and everybody else has as well. When you walk down the street and you see somebody, you have no idea what their story could be. They could be a ray of sunshine, but they could also have a really tough past. You never know what somebody's been through. So I like the guys that have gone through hell and back. There's a lot of sports figures that I think of that there's too many to count almost.
Yeah.
That's gone through that. I love Kenny Powers. I don't know if you've ever seen Eastbound and Down, but a guy like that I identify with. Those are the type of people I look up to.
And what villain?
The villains. Oh God, I have two of them. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
I hate those two people with a passion, and I don't hate anybody, but I don't like people that are fear mongers. They totally are. They are the reason behind my wanting Sportsball to be something different and be away from ESPN. Two individuals that, I mean, if you don't know who they are, go look them up, and I dare you to listen to more than 10 minutes of the bullshit that comes out of their mouth. So yeah, those are the two biggest villains in my life for sure.
Fair enough. So what would be your superpower if you could have one?
My superpower, if I could freeze time. Freeze time or control time, because I always feel like I don't have enough of it. I think everybody feels that way. Like I don't know if I necessarily want to go back in time, but it'd be nice if I was having a really long day, be like, you know what? I'm going to pause time for about an hour, and I'm going to go take a nap.
I'll be right back.
Maybe have a little snack, and then we'll get back to midday.
I loved, did you ever see the episode of Dexter's Laboratory? And I know I've told this story on the show before, where Dexter invents a time-slowing helmet?
No.
You really should watch it. It's a really kind of cool examination of the physics behind that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Maybe I need to check that out. Yeah. No, yeah, I used to watch that show. Yeah, I don't remember that episode.
I need to check that. He invents a helmet that turns 30 seconds into 30 minutes. And so, he tries to do his homework, and the friction on the paper makes the paper explode into flames. And he tries to take a shower, the water doesn't come out. He grabs the individual drops and gives himself a horse bath, and on he goes. It's really good, a great examination of the physics behind slowing down time.
I probably, yeah, I didn't really think of the physics on that one. I need the physics to come with me as well.
You have this envelope of influence, basically.
Yes, yeah, that would be awesome. 30 seconds into 30 minutes, my God, what could you do in a day, right?
Jesus. Everything. Here's the thing, you would find it with more shit to fill. You don't even kid yourself.
So living in Austin, Texas, and I mean, there's so many other cities around the globe that deal with awful, awful traffic. Think of just slowing down time and zipping through the city.
You would actually be able to get 15 miles in 15 minutes. Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly, right?
And what would be your super weakness?
So that'd be my super weakness. Now, you ask me what it would be, or what is my super weakness?
Either or. If you want to make up one for the future, or if you already have one.
Nah, I don't want to tell you my weaknesses. I have to present a strong front. What my super weakness would be. I don't know. That's a really good question. Probably pretty women, I guess. Pretty women is my weakness anyways. Because just as a guy, women just terrify the shit out of me.
Right.
As do for most guys. Most guys. I don't know if women know that, but most of the time we're just terrified of them. Because we have
That's why we talk about sports. Because we can't talk to you. We're fucking scared.
That's why I'm so good at talking sports, is because, I've been terrified to talk to women. Yeah, that, I guess, would be my super weakness.
So what turns you on creatively? What gets your wheels turning?
what gets my wheels turning is when you see something, I guess when it comes in terms of sports, when you see something unique happen and it allows you to build this tree that branches off into 1,000 other different things. And you just kind of roll with it. Working in the radio world, we had a lot of fun working with music and drops from people, and you try and come up with things that compare into everything else. If there's a trap play in football, you pair that up with some Beastie Boys soundtrack and Star Wars, and you try and mix it all together. Like that's what gets my juices flowing. And being on the clock, I think a lot of people do well under pressure and they don't know it.
Right.
I think for me personally, like if I don't have a deadline, I'm not really that motivated to like get anywhere. I'll be sitting around and I'll see something for sure and be like, hey, I think that's something we could talk about on the show, and like maybe we could do this. But having the deadline, knowing it's like the day coming, like that gets my juices going. Just knowing that, like, yeah. I think when you are put into like almost survival mode and that stress mode, and not stress is like you're stressed out, but like the pressure. I think that really helps.
Well, it's like we were talking about earlier, being able to get out of your own damn way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just go. Yeah, just go. So yeah, that's probably it.
And what turns you off?
Turns me off. When I don't have coffee. I have to if I don't have coffee, I'm done. That's what I take back. My super weakness is coffee. If I don't have coffee, I'm not a functioning person. So if I'm not drinking coffee, I'm dead in the water. Like somebody's got to give me some caffeine.
I somehow missed that curse in college. I ended up never really getting a taste for the stuff.
Well, it's crazy. There's so many people that I know that I've met so far, Rooster Teeth, that are like, man, I've never watched sports, but now I am. Or like, I've met people and like, Tim, these people, like, I've never seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's almost on the same page to me sometimes when I hear people that they don't drink coffee. Like, how are you living? Like, I don't understand how you're living right now. Like,
I'm from Georgia, boy. Sweet tea runs in my veins. That's all the caffeine I need.
To me, coffee is just, it's as arbitrary as water. Like, I don't understand it. Like, yep. It's just my life force.
Yep.
So
that's the exact same way sweet tea is for me. So I totally hear you. Yeah. So what other talent, obviously, than the ones you've already been gifted with, would you like to have?
Other talents I'd like to have. Well, I would like to be a little bit taller. That would always be good.
I could pull out the rack. We still have it from that Survival at College short.
A few extra inches, never hurt anyone. That would be nice. I think to have a better golf game would be great. I love golfing. I know that's such like an old white guy thing.
Oh my God, have you been to Topgolf?
Oh my, Topgolf is the shit,
Topgolf
man.
is amazing. Of course you have. You fucking live here. Of course you've been to fucking Topgolf.
I used to play instruments when I was a kid, and I really wish I'd picked that up later in life. I really wish I knew how to play the piano. That's something I wish I knew how to do. I wish I spoke more languages. Like I used to be able to dabble in Spanish. And living in Texas, I think that's really important too. But I wish I spoke multiple languages. That would be really nice if I could do that.
You used to sit next to Mariel.
Yeah, we practice our Spanish every once in a while. She tells me that I'm doing más o menos. So
she insults you in Spanish. You have to look up exactly what she said. Hey!
Hey. But yeah, I think it'd be that. Learn different languages, learn how to play the piano, and my golf game. So just those three things. No biggie.
Yeah,
so.
Right. So what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self?
Oh my gosh, my 13-year-old self. Well, first of all, I'd tell him to stop being a little shit and listen to your parents and listen to the people around you. I would tell him to enjoy youth as much as he possibly could. And I don't mean to sound like an old man or anything like that because I'm only 27. But I wouldn't tell him, like, don't be in a hurry to grow up. You just got to let things come to you. I was in a real rush. I think a lot of kids are to, like, grow up. And they want to be the adult and have their own responsibility. I tell them to take it easy and really take it in. And just, beware of a few things here or there. But really listen more. It's amazing how much I listen now compared to when I was a kid. And we can all say that, that's not a very uncommon thing at all, but
you'd be amazed.
Really, yeah, I guess so. But I would say just listen to the people around you. They know what they're talking about. here's a sports thing for you again. The head coach at Texas right now, his name's Charlie Strong, and something he tells his players all the time, and yet they can't beat him on this, is he says, I have been your age. You have not been mine. And I think those words, I think that's a lesson I would tell my 13-year-old self. Be like, buddy, I have been 13. You have not been 27.
That's actually a fairly fair point.
Yeah, you need to listen to people that are older than you because they've lasted longer than you and they might know a thing or two.
So, Tyler, what is something that only you do?
Only me. Only me. Only I do? That only I do?
Yeah.
Hell, man, I don't know.
Some weird quirk, click, some weird habit that only you do.
A weird habit that I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really do anything that unique. I'm just your pretty normal, average guy, I guess, for the most part. I'm sure I have quirks here and there that I would think of, but to me, I guess they're just normal, so it's like hard to think about.
That's actually a very fair point.
Right? You know, it's like, well, to me, that's really normal that I do this with my feet, but like, no, it's like, I don't think I do anything out of the norm. Not really for me.
And so we've already answered the what is your favorite curse word question.
Fuck. Yes, we did. Yeah, fuck.
And where would you one day like to live?
Well, I was very blessed to be born and raised in Austin, Texas, and this is one of the greatest cities in the world. And I say that not just because it's my opinion, but I was very fortunate as a young kid to travel a lot of the globe. I've been to Paris, I've been to Rome, I've been to London, I've been to Eastern Europe, I've been down on the French Riviera, I've been to 41 states, I've been to most major cities.
Wow.
And out of all of them, Austin, Texas is damn near the best. I think San Diego.
In fact, very well traveled.
I'm very fortunate. I'm so fortunate to have traveled as a kid. I don't take it for granted or take it lightly at all. But maybe San Diego. San Diego's really nice because you can leave your doors open, no mosquitoes. The weather is fucking unbelievable.
Jesus Christ. What is no mosquitoes like? Like, Jesus, I don't even know.
That and no allergies. I mean, no mosquitoes, no allergies, and I can be in jeans and a sweater on the beach or in my swimsuit, and in both I'm going to be comfortable. So San Diego is pretty cool.
Fair enough.
But I'm big on, like I said before, team. And Austin has been my home. It's my team. It's everything to me. So this is a city I take a lot of pride in. And having done radio for in Austin and to be a voice in this city is something that is very, very special to me. It's a place where I've started to bury my roots. I do a lot of community events. I work with Dell Children's Hospital, which is really fulfilling and a lot of fun. So, Tim, I'm probably here for life. I'm going to travel a bit. I love to travel, but Austin's going to be home for me.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's absolutely fair. It's a great city. Like, having only come here 2 years ago, I can't really say that there is a place where I felt more at home, you know? And I hope that doesn't change as I get to be outside of the demographic for the city. But we shall see. You know, I really do love it here. I kind of want a place in the mountains, too. But you know what? You can have houses everywhere. Like, seriously, home is where I happen to live at the time.
Exactly.
So our last question here before we get out. If you had a choice, sir, how long would it take you to respawn after you died?
How long would it take me to respawn after I die? Well, that's a good question. I would ask, if I respawn, am I starting back from, like, infancy or the moment I die?
I will tell you that the rules are yours to create.
Well, if I could respawn back to a prime age, like seconds after I died. Like, even if there was a heaven, because I have complications with that, because I need to know a few things. Like, even if I'm going to heaven, or if there's an afterlife, Tim, that doesn't have beer or football, I don't really want to go.
We're going back.
Like, I don't want to sit on a fucking cloud and just, like, hang out with people.
Yeah.
Because there's some people I don't want to see again. You know, like, and they might be up there, and it's like, oh God, Jim is at the party again. Like,
fucking Jim.
And he's here for eternity, so it's not like you're gonna avoid him forever. So, it's fun pretty quick. I like this. Life is fun. I would do it quick. I'd go back to my prime. I don't know what my prime is. Maybe I'm in it. Maybe it was. You never know. I guess you'll know when you.
I mean, hell, why not just shoot for like 12 after you've already come out of like most of the awkward pooping your pants phase?
Yeah, yeah. 12 would be okay. I mean, you go through the awkward puberty thing, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. Fuck.
yeah, I'd respond pretty quick though.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's another show in the can for us. I want to thank my very special guest, Tyler Coe, for coming on the show today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim. I had a lot of fun doing this.
And so,
You have a great
where can people get in contact with you?
People can get in contact with me mainly on the site if they'd like to. It is just Tyler C at roosterteeth.com is where you can find me. Also, hit me up on Twitter. I'm pretty active and I like to message a lot of fans, a lot of people that get involved with me because we do a lot of competition, stuff like that. And I like to have a lot of open dialogue. If you have a question about your team or you want to tell me something, like I'm going to answer back. So,
and that Twitter handle is?
Twitter handle is capital RT Co.
Excellent. And it's been written underneath him the whole time, as has mine, at Tim Leftwich on Twitter. Tyler, before I get to that little run of the speech, is there anything else you would like to plug?
No, just tune into Sportsball. It's every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Time. We do a lot of competitions, and we usually ask for a lot of feedback before and after the show, so be a part of it. Just do that, and just tune into Rooster Teeth. We have so many good shows and so much great content out daily. It's just the place to be.
Watch our stuff. Buy stuff from the store. Also, ... store.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You've been watching this on youtube.com/TimLeftwich. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Look for more in the coming future. I'm really going to try and get back to some sort of schedule with this, but with the way work's having me, it may just get done when it gets done. And I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I really am. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and as always, we'll see you next time. Bye!